Hyto, it is Tyto. Welcome to the stream of VOD if you're watching. So today I'll be doing a review of my 2025. So, to, give some little spoilers ahead, it will be about what games I played or the streams that I found more interesting and yeah, avoid them. I'm also going to give some game reviews and possibly talk about something else. It's going to be a shorter stream because, it's just me yapping. So yeah, one more thing. It will... How do I put this? Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about it. Suddenly forgot about it. It's wow. My gosh. So, I don't really have much. I would say I don't stream as often as people do. As they are, full-time job for streaming. Yeah, I do have a real job, so... Ooh, pardon me for saying the word without censoring it. Alright. So, I'll just be reviewing mostly games. I do not want to review my drawings because I haven't done much. I think if you watch or see my Pixiv, you get an understanding of the situation that I didn't really draw much this year. Didn't really draw much. And you wouldn't understand, but you probably see my activity there is quite lacking, if I do say so myself. Also, I deactivated my Twitter because apparently Grok is the edit function is kind of making me a little bit worried. So, let's begin with the first one. So, the first category for my award. My gosh, what is wrong with me? So the first category is going to be Best Action. So I have nominated about 4 games. You wouldn't be surprised if you've known me for a bit. Oh, by the way, hi, I'm Tyto. I stream games. I do a little bit of voice acting here and there, especially for games. You may check out some of my RPG Maker games, streams, not games. Even though I do dabble in some game development. Alright, Best Action. Monster Hunter Wilds, Warframe, Doom Eternal, and Enter the Gungeon. I did realize that I was blocking Monster Hunter Wilds, the first item. However, I did also want to do 4 nominees. So, let us... This is hard. What the hell? I'm just kidding. I didn't prepare a script, alright? Anyways, so these are the 4 that I've nominated for my best action games. And the ones that I spent the most time on this year, kind of, not all of them. Enter the Gungeon was really good. However, there are some flaws. I'm not too sure. It was kind of obvious which one's gonna win. Doom Eternal is very, I would say, ended a little bit too quick. Warframe has some issues here and there, which I did not really enjoy. Namely, it's a really minor issues, sometimes the parkour system, especially the ledge. It's a really minor stuff that really triggers me sometimes. Monster Hunter Wilds, I do believe that I really love this game. I feel like people have a lot of things to say about Monster Hunter Wilds, which I personally do not agree with. I do think it's alright for it being easy, however, people seem to complain a little bit too much. I do love the game, however, the developers should have maybe spent a little bit more time optimizing it rather than maybe making it a little bit too hard. I say that, but I find it quite easy as well. However, I never found Master Rank monsters really that hard either. If you want a hard game, I think you should probably play something else. I'm just there for the monsters. However, I do find it more frustrating than hard. Monster Hunter Wilds, especially Gogmasios, which is way terrible. And I feel like it's not really much of a great monster, especially if you have to farm this stuff for the Ashen weapons. If you do not know what I'm talking about, yes, Monster Hunter is one of my favorite games. So, which one will take the crown for best action game for my personal opinion? Well, it may not be a surprise, because my favorite action game this year is Doom Eternal. I should have done like a there's no hype. It is literally one of the best action games I've ever played. Very high speed. However, do take this into account that excuse me. Motorcycle up there. My favorite game is Devil May Cry 5, one of my favorite games. Genuinely, Virgil is my favorite character, and one that I loosely relate to, very loosely. Not the power part. Actually, kind of the power part, except for I'm not really that stupid to dump everything to find power. And abandoned family. Yeah. So, Doom Eternal. If I have to give a metaphor on how it is like finding the best solution to a puzzle. How to assemble a puzzle. Except this time, you're finding out the best guns to deal with a horde of enemies. So, imagine that you have a bunch of, let's say, imps. You wouldn't spend your BFG or your Crucible Blade or, let's say, maybe a rocket launcher. Perhaps you might, to clear a horde or a clumped up group of imps. However, if you throw in a little bit more monsters, demons, such as maybe the slithering ones, I forgot what they're called, but yeah, the snaky ones, you use the lock-on launcher or super shotgun with the railgun. I do find it really entertaining, and I think it's absolutely perfect. It is literally my favorite game for this year for action. So, category 2, funniest stream. So, this will be the streams where I found that I was quite entertained by, or I feel like I'm, at my peak at my comedy. There is no one voting it, so it's just me, personal votings, alright? Only finest comedy here, streams where I think I'm funny, or where I think it's funny, of course. So, Heavy Rain, episode 1, I should probably move away. Hold on. Episode 1. Spore, Impossible Creatures, and Oblivion Remastered. So, I didn't stream much Oblivion Remastered, perhaps only like the character creation scene, so I do count it as one of the streams. I feel like... Excuse me, I'm gonna burp. Ugh. I feel like it's very skewed. Most of them are kind of character creation. What do you mean kind of? It's all character creation related. Creature creation. And the only outlier here is Heavy Rain. So it may be the underdog, or the one who would be, the one who will win. So, Spore, which I just streamed earlier this week. Wait, not this week. Last week. Saturday, if I recall correctly, or maybe a Friday. It's probably Saturday. So, Impossible Creatures, that game is also very old. If you notice, these games are quite old, except for Oblivion Remaster. However, the remaster Oblivion is also an old game. That's what I was gonna say, not the remaster. Yes, I do love these games. Except for maybe Heavy Rain. I think it was not a great story game. However, I will explain in my list of games later. So, drumroll please. The winner of the funniest streams, in my opinion, is... This is stupid. It's so cringy that I'm doing it myself. Alright, this stream's probably gonna be like 50, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be very surprising. Heavy Rain Episode 1. So, to explain why I chose Heavy Rain Episode 1, it is because it is the most unintentional funny game that I really unexpectedly found it really funny. Listen, it is so... I don't know, I decided to bring my A game in terms of improv with the absolutely horrendous QTE in this game. Some of them are really bad. I would say even the controller is kind of bad. Like the rotation and stuff. Especially mouse and keyboard. Keyboard, my bad. However, I didn't make the best of it by yapping a little bit too much, by telling too many jokes. Sorry, I didn't phrase that correctly. So, category 3. This one has about maybe 3 nominees. Unintentional rage games or streams. So, these are the games where I felt quite, unimpressed by. Like, it's so... I don't know, I just felt very visceral, like the rage inside. I may not display it, however, I feel like if you watch it, you probably might feel it. However, I'm not promoting my streams, I am just describing how I feel properly. I don't know if you want to watch. Alright. Soma, Magica, 2, and Serious Sam. However, I kind of forgot which one I nominated. So, to explain, Soma, I am grossly into the story. However, I feel like some parts where the horror chasing scenes happen, like during like the most crucial time for me. I know, it is quite well paced. However, personally, I feel like the horror aspect, I probably should have chosen maybe like the easiest difficulty if I'm just into the story. So I would say it's kind of a shooting myself in the foot. So another thing is, it's kind of a bias of mine, because I do not exactly enjoy chase in horror, especially with timers and stuff. I find them incredibly one note. I don't find them really impressive. I don't find them really, how do you say, heart racing or anxious, anxiety. I don't feel those things, or at least maybe it's just a me thing. I don't truly enjoy chase stuff. I also didn't like it when this one part of it's like, oh wow, press the thing after this one monster is running away. I do think the story is really great. I haven't finished it yet. However, I do think it's really prevalent, especially for the future. Or maybe the times of now. Current times, modern era. So, Magica 2. This game, where I played solo, is incredibly frustrating, and I think is a good game. However, Magica 1 I think was genuinely superior to the game. I did not really enjoy Magica 2 as much because there are some maybe cooldowns and stuff. I feel like it's balanced. It's better balance. However, Magica 1 is kind of a more power fantasy that also can take away your power fantasy. Oh my god, 2025 is finally done, almost. Hi V. Welcome back. I'm just doing a little bit of a review. Hope you... Oh, my bad. Hope you are doing well. I just blundered it. Apparently I voted Magic 2. Serious Sam 2, oh my gosh. I quite despise the game. The humor is not exactly the best. It is more akin to those humor in 2010s or just 2000s. Happy, yay. Finally. So the winner is Magic 2. I think it's a great game, however, I feel like it's not really my type of it'd be much more fun with friends, I would say. Anyways, how are you doing? Hopefully what you're doing is fine. Hope you're not skipping, I don't know, anything to watch me. Especially since it's a weekday. So, best story, category 4. If I do recall correctly, there's only 3 or 4. Soma, Final Fantasy X, Undertale. I feel like this is going to be very obvious, but I am incredibly big fan of Final Fantasy X's writing. It is genuinely currently my favorite Final Fantasy. Dude, where are you? I'm free right now. Ah, okay, good. I'm doing quite well. I should have brought water. However, I do have a little bit of a tiny little bit left. I did have Guinness before, but nah. Not now, of course. Should have kept it, perhaps. And Undertale. I don't have water, but I have Red Bull, so why are you drinking Red Bull? God damn. I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of energy drinks. The last time I drank Monster Energy, I decided I want to take a nap. I don't know. Why not? I don't know, it's just very sugary. I feel like that's very unhealthy. Because when I drank it, I was like, oh, please. I had to force myself to finish it. What's up, Biograph? Welcome back. I had my first date today. Congratulations. Hell yeah. Great for you to enjoy. I mean, have it for first date. And Undertale. Alright. I want something strong. But I don't want to consume alcohol every day, so about some substantial drinks. Here's my recommendation. Water. If I'm not wrong, there's a exposure therapy or something. I forgot what it's called. Like the actual name. Where it's something like the SpongeBob meme where it's like, I need it, however you don't take it or something. Something like that. I drink water. Okay, good. Honestly, I don't really drink, sugary drinks much. But I still do, but not as much. I do love water. Yeah. Did you know that the medium which holds the water is very important when it comes to drinking water? I feel like steel and glass are like my favorite, while plastic is like one of the worst. Rubber, oh my gosh, those with a rubber cover I hate so much. It's so bad. But warm water in the morning, too cold in the winter, or in summer doesn't matter. Cold water in the winter, I still love that. I mean, I do that as well. When it's colder. You know what? I gotta say, Undertale has really held up. So here's the thing. Undertale is written by one guy, which is very talented. However, Final Fantasy is written by many talented people, possibly slightly worse than Toby Fox, and sometimes maybe better than Toby Fox, who has maybe more than perhaps 20 years experience of writing, while Toby Fox maybe has like 5 or 10 years, perhaps. I think the answer is quite clear. Soma, it is if I do recall correctly, the successor to Amnesia. I think it was great. I think the story is very well written, very intricate. I can tell that the writers very cared about it. I don't know what else to compliment about it, but it's very deep. It's very, not very subtle, but it's very, what's the word I want to use? It's like a punch in the gut. Sometimes. The first time I bought flowers for anyone. Also, I like water. Very good. Flowers, what kind of flowers? Because different flowers have different meanings, so please do buy the correct flowers. You can go look it up. I think roses in general are like the most generic one, but I feel like if you want to go something a little bit more eccentric, you should probably go get something different, perhaps. I mean, they went well back, yeah. I buy flowers for my friends every Valentine's Day. I like Final Fantasy most of the three. I agree, because oh wait, I shouldn't have said that. Alright, drum roll please. Alright, my favorite story in this, out of these three, is Final Fantasy X. Comes to no surprise. I love the characters so much. They are so well written. I feel like I find Auron to be incredibly relatable. If I was younger, I can see myself being in I feel like I want to put myself into Tidus' shoes. I feel like it's a really puppy love type of thing. And I really generally think it's very realistic. I think it's very good. It's so good. Yeah. I love Final Fantasy X, man. It's genuinely so good. Good. I can see why one of my friends really loved it. Before, I used to think that 14, the one with the bad boys were the best. Like 15 if I'm not wrong. Because I wasn't much into Final Fantasy except for 7 and what's the other one? 15 and maybe a little bit of yeah, a little bit of not 10 though, was it? I think it's just this 2 if I'm not wrong. I don't know every Final Fantasy game, but I really like the characters in the story. So Final Fantasy 7, I do love the characters, you know, Tifa and Aerith. But I absolutely do not like Cloud. I feel like it's very... I know Cloud is maybe supposed to be like the insert character. Like, he's a blank slate. However, I do prefer Zack. Crisis Core is actually more... I would say it's better than the 15. Or is it 14? 15, right. Because Zack is an absolute Chad. He's my favorite Final Fantasy protagonist in the entire game. Final Fantasy series. Tidus is my second favorite, because, you know, haha, funny man. I love funny man. I don't know if... Oh wait, I remember that one. You know what? I should have made the... If anyone asks me where I'm from, I should probably say, oh, me, Gongaga. Zack is such a great character. And I feel absolutely mortified that you can romance Aerith with Cloud. That's like cucking your senior. I do not like that. Keep Tifa for Cloud, Zack for Aerith. Or Tifa for Aerith, I don't know. What is a skull emoji? Come on. Background just disappeared after flowers. After the flowers talk. My gosh. By the way, it's gonna be a shorter stream because I won't have long. I'll have to go quite early. It's probably gonna be like an hour or something. Nothing. The overall characters in this game are very... I really love them. Kimura is the only one where I feel like he's there. You know, he's just there. I love Walker. I love Yuna. I love Lulu. Tidus is... even though he's very strong, he's still a very compelling character. I feel like it's like choosing between Angus beef, Wagyu, and Kobe beef. I think all of them are like that. You know, Angus is like the weakest, debatably, at least for me. And Titus is the Angus. Riku as well. No, I'm still here. Okay, back in puppy love. But I believe I had to go pick up. Very nice. Very nice. I can't believe I said it that way. Very nice. Dude, I'm so lucky that she loves me. She's amazing. Very good for you. Oh, that's such a great goal. I feel like December has been quite great so far. While also being bad for me, at least. I got a new GPU, that's all. Speaking of which, my mouse, the G502, if I'm not wrong, no, G520. G502 is currently dying, which I find really sad. The left click, I should probably go replace it. However, I feel like it's a 9-year tenure is you know, very, very old. It's 9 years old. It's older than my niece and my nephews. Very nice. Yes, very nice. I gotta say, Lulu's my favorite character so far. Only because she's very attractive. Sorry, man. I'm a simp, okay? Best overall game, category 5. Now this one, I have 4 games. It's gonna be very similar to category 1, where the games are quite similar, except for the last one, which we'll see. So if you notice, everything here is the same except for Prehistoric Kingdom. So, best overall games were the games that I spend way too much time on. I don't want to tell you how much time I spent on Warframe, or Monster Hunter Wilds, or Prehistoric Kingdom. However, Doom Eternal, I would say, I didn't spend as much time as the others. But, all because I spent too much time on it doesn't mean it's gonna win, alright? So, winner of this game is... I wonder. Warframe. So, nominated once, but won once. It's kind of sad that Monster Hunter didn't win, because I do find it really good. However, it's very frustrating to play. Warframe, I find the story is so good. Newest update. I would recommend watching stories about it. Not stories about it, but cutscenes or the stories. It's very well written. I would recommend going, how do you say it? Like, it's a one piece, you know? You have to let it simmer for a bit. The earlier episodes won't be as good. However, the ones later on is going to be quite, you know, a masterpiece, I would say. Chef's kiss. Fuck you, Warframe. Yeah, exactly. Very nice. The OPs, very good. Especially you get the date. So I came back to Warframe this year, if I do recall correctly. So, oh wow. I purposely put it that way so I can just do this. So, my video game list. I'm gonna go through each and every one of them that I played on stream. Black and White 2. I would say it held up really well. However, I do find it quite easy, I would say. I do believe the DLC is kind of, how do you say it, like make things a little bit more spicy. Adds a little bit more spice to it. Doom Eternal, of course. One hand clapping? Yeah, that's the singing game. However, I did privately find a stream for that one because I got a little bit too silly. Not a little bit too silly, but it's kind of a sensitive topic. Oh, that one, yeah. Doom Eternal. Favorite game. I've probably said everything that I want to say from earlier. It's a masterpiece. I can't wait to play the sequel, the prequel, Doom: The Dark Ages, if I do recall correctly. Yeah, that one. Final Fantasy X. I love everything about it, except for the turn-based mechanic. I'm not a big fan of turn-based games. I would say I'm not good at them. One hand clapping. I do like it, however, I feel like maybe I have not tuned it properly. I do have to, maybe I have a really, really big range. I have a wide range of high notes and low notes, so I feel like maybe the game couldn't handle my power, so maybe it's just a me thing. Well, excuse me for not having precise control of my true power or something. Too powerful, exactly, too powerful. Magica 2. I can't describe it. I do find the game really fun, only if you have friends. So, if you want to play the game, I really recommend you getting to the first one first. If you like it, maybe get Magica 2. So if you have a bunch of friends play this game, I really recommend the first one. I think it's perfect. Second one, not so much. I don't know why. It just doesn't have the same feeling to it. I think it's because casting, you can walk when you're casting, which is the greatest quality of life improvement, I would say. Got a brief on it. This is why we have different hosts for game shows or something, I don't know. Enter the Gungeon. I think it's the best roguelike I play. No. There's Hades. Hades is my favorite. So Enter the Gungeon is, I would say, one of the top games in this year for me. However, it's kind of sad that it won't make the top 5, if I do recall. If I think so. Maybe it's probably top 5 for action, I guess. Top 4. Yes, top 4. I think I've only beaten the Dragon. I think it's good. I think the game is very fun. I don't exactly have a strong memory of it, other than like a few moments that I don't find really particular, like the highlights of the stream, you know. I just feel like I'm just playing the game and complaining about my luck, because my luck is always shit or very good. Which leads me to one of my topics. It's kind of funny because I did do a little bit of research on Eastern dragons, because it's kind of funny. Apparently, they are related to weather and also fortune. So the reason why I kind of chose the Eastern dragon as one of my, I would say, designs or character for, you know, my VTuber model, is because sometimes whenever this is one very specific moment, alright? This is one story. So, story time with Tyto. There's one time where I was hanging out with my friends. And it rained quite a lot. However, whenever I went out with my friend, it stopped raining. I went to buy a carton of beer, and then it was raining in the mall. However, when I decided to walk out, it stopped raining, and then we went back to our stay. I would say that's what you call it. So that is one of the stories. I have many other stories about it. Every time whenever I walk back, it's usually clear, and when I come back, immediately it rain. So about the giving fortune thing, I find it really funny that whenever I pull for gacha stuff, if it's for myself, it's very bad or very good. However, if I do it for someone else, it's always very good. A little fortunate. I know, right? I like dragons, not so much dinosaurs. Yeah, I like dragons. What? Oh, okay, not so much dinosaurs. Okay, I get it. Yeah, dragons are very cool. I love dragons. Oh my god, be right back to take this call. No problem. The stream will go on. Alright, where was I? Impossible creatures. Okay, I'm gonna confess. I love the creature creation of the game. However, the campaign is... Oh, I hate it so much. It's bad. It's not good. It's not balanced. You have to be very good. So, for example of a strategy game, which is very easy for the hardest mode, is Age of War. Like, I found out that the chicken turret is the most effective way of killing enemies, which I find very funny, that you could kill a bunch of men from the modern military with a bunch of chicken eggs and cavemen, like clubs. That is one of the examples of a one that's very easy. Or one that's very hard. This will be an example. So Impossible Creatures, the campaign is very bad because the enemy can just crap out a ton of creatures at once without any resources, anything, nothing at all. Just keep cranking it out, and the resource you gather is extremely scarce, which I find really annoying. Also, if you notice that my background is kind of like a woods Damascus pattern. If you don't know, one of my weapons is called the Morning Woods, which is named after my armor core. I think it's kind of a funny pun. I do really enjoy it. I think it's a really good good name, I would say. So, moving on to Dino Crisis 2. Incredible game. I think the story itself is quite quick. I think it's a very good action game for its time. I still think it's very good. I may have complained about it a little bit for some section of the game where you can't avoid any damage. Like, it's impossible to avoid some damage sometimes. I think the story is quite short. I feel like I kind of rushed through it a little bit too quickly. I feel I should probably take my time and probably farm everything and try everything out. However, I do think, dinosaurs are cool. And if you like the old Resident Evil games, I would really recommend Dino Crisis 2. It is more action than survival. However, if you want something more survival, you should probably play Dino Crisis 1. Honestly, I haven't tried it, but I have heard that the first game is actually quite probably difficult. So, the next one. Excuse me. That's Not My Neighbor. I think that this game is it's good, but not my cup of tea. I was quite harsh to it. I think that the game itself is fine. However, I was very harsh on it. Like, I don't know. I think it's a gameplay that I would say it's probably because my expectations were a bit high. And I felt like, oh my god, it's gonna be so difficult that I wouldn't be able to clear it. And I thought I might take even longer than 2 hours. But I'm like, dilly-dallying around and I still managed to clear everything. The story mode, at least. I thought it was gonna be harder, I thought it was gonna be longer. I think... No, I'm Not Human is like the more... How do you say it? I wouldn't say it's a direct improvement, however, it feels like more like a... It's... I gotta phrase this carefully, but I shouldn't be comparing two games, It's like... It's totally not the two same games, however... Totally not the same games, but however, I feel like I can kind of compare a little bit, Yeah, I shouldn't say anything. I might get in hot water if I do that. Heavy Rain. Horrendous story. Fun game. The twist at the end with should I say it? Spoiler alert. It probably muted for a bit if you do not want to listen to spoilers. And if I do this, it means I'm done. Alright? So, Scott Shelby. Heavy Rain, is that a game you've recommended? Only the stream, like the first game. Like the first episode, not first game, my bad. I think Heavy Rain is... David Cage is... He thinks he's very good at writing stories. However, it's very shallow. The consequences are really that consequential. Yeah. So, the twist at the end, I really did not like Scott Shelby being like the main antagonist. He doesn't give off any villain vibes, like at the start. It's like during the car crash situation, if you could see Scott Shelby there, like the first car crash, I would be like, whoa! But when I look back, he's not there. It's so it was annoying me way too much. Like at least give some hints to him, Maybe I'm a little bit too dumb, but I never found any hints about him being like the origami killer. Alright, I think Heavy Rain is... The QT is also terrible. Alright, I think I'm done with the story. Let me just wag my head around. Alright, that is it for the spoilers for Heavy Rain. I do think the QTE portion of the game are absolutely horrendous. I feel like I didn't really enjoy the ones in Heavy Rain. However, I feel like I hope that the ones in Detroit Become Human is better. I haven't tried it. I love the bromance. However, I totally forgot the story. Wiped it from my memory. Shoo! Also, Ethan, I would say Heavy Rain would benefit if they removed Madison and Scott, and probably just include Jordan and Ethan. Madison is just there to thirst bait, which I do not like. Like if you... I don't know, I just feel like Madison is just shoved in for eye candy, you know? Like, the actress is very pretty, and I really liked her in the game. However, I feel like she could have replaced Ethan, or just have Ethan in the game, you know? I hate when developers make plot twists just for the sake of sheer shock value. It should make sense in a way, but it'd be a game or show. Exactly. However, it's easy to say that, while writing is a totally different story, because you know, I am writing my own story, so I feel like I may fall into the trap of the same situation one day, or some writing styles that I do not like and personally commit, which sounds very hypocritical, but sometimes whenever you're writing, it's kind of like a trap, you know? We never know what you write until someone reads it. But yeah, I feel like having two detectives, like Scott and Jordan, they are unnecessary. It's either you remove Jordan or Scott, or what was I saying? Alright, either remove Scott or, I would say Scott or Shelby, Scott or Jordan, or remove Ethan or Madison. Either one of those two. I feel like I'm yapping and not making sense. But yeah. I feel like the story's a little bit bloated sometimes. Here's the thing about mature games. Whenever they say mature games, a lot of them are just, you know, haha, sex. I don't like it. Or nudity. It really depends on how you portray the nudity. Like if it's just like, you know, GTA, I'm not a big fan when they show, you know, nudity in games. Especially when you have the stream. It's like Outlast, you know, I didn't like it as well. Like, I didn't want to see someone's pee-pee swinging around. I'm fine with nudity, but if it's necessary in a plot. Exactly. Like, if a person got revived and came out of a blood pool, I would say it's fine. I say it's probably necessary. You wouldn't want to put on clothes when you're coming out of a blood pool. I would say that's necessary. Maybe something like here's the thing, I do not like it when people put like sex scenes in games. But if you want to portray something like that, nudity, you know, is obviously required. However, I do not like it when it's like it's like the author the what's that meme, you know, like a barely disguised fetish of an author. So, moving on to Warframe. What a masterpiece. There's too many things I would like to say, talk about it, but I feel like you should probably play it or watch videos of it to understand. The gameplay is fun. Gameplay is super fun. However, take this from someone who has played this game for possibly 13 years or more. I forgot how, you know. Yeah, like before, when beta started, it's like, it was Volt, Excalibur, and Mag, and then it's like Loki, Excalibur, and Mag for the starters. Man, 13? Yeah, exactly. This game is 13 years old, if I'm not wrong. Wait, let me go check. Warframe release date. Back when you had to buy ammo. March 25th, 2013. Wow. And this year is wow, it was only 12, okay, it's not 13 years, it's 12 years. So I was 15 when I played this game. It's still, this is 1 year difference, 12 years. I would say the story is very, how do you say it? It's like Dark Souls in space. The story, I said. I find it funny that I'm comparing Dark Souls to a game, not for its difficulty, however the story. Like back then, Warframe, they didn't really answer much. Like, what were the Warframes? However, they did hint that Warframes were the infested quite early on. So, moving on. Prehistoric Kingdom. It's a park builder game with dinosaurs, of course. This year has been an absolute banger for them. I do think that 2025 for them is extremely, how do you say, like the hypest moment for them. It's super good. I love the game. If you want a really complex park builder with prehistorically paleontologically accurate dinosaurs, for now, play this game. The developers are very dedicated, and I wish to support them more. However, I'm a broke boy. Like, I can only give so much, man. Like, we're on Patreon. I can't do that. Soma. Fantastic game. I haven't finished the story yet. But I think we talked about it already. The gameplay is kind of subpar in my opinion. However, the story is amazing. The game. What do I say? It's an old game which have puzzles in it. I think it's pretty good for its time. It came out in the year when I was born, if I'm not wrong. Let me go check. The game. (1995). So this game is older than me. However, it still holds up. I think it's very good. The graphics for that era, it is incredible, It looks like shit now, of course, but even now, looking back, the style of it is very nostalgic. When I say nostalgic, it has cursive in there. Nostalgic. There's a certain style to the game which I find very pleasing to the eye, or some are kind of unpleasing. So, next game, Dinosaur King. It's been a year, 2 years, if I'm not wrong, where I started this game, and I haven't fully finished it yet. Like, the main story is done, however, the other story, like the newest one, or the post-main story, I haven't finished it yet. I had fun voice acting in that game. I think it's, I don't know, is this an old game? Which my childhood really enjoyed. Child me really enjoyed this game a lot. However, there are some things that are quite bullshit, I would say. The rock, paper, scissors mechanic, I'm not a big fan of it. So yeah. Hold on, let me get a water. My throat is dry, it's killing me. Wow. Ooh, okay. I don't really need to hear myself. I'm just talking. It's so weird hearing myself talk without the feedback, whatever it's called. Because back then, before I had this feedback thing, when I'm, before I was, what was I gonna say? Maybe like 2 years ago, I used to not put that on, and now it's like, oh my god, I can't hear myself. It's kind of like putting on noise cancelling earphones, and you can't, excuse me, and you can't hear yourself. It's kind of like that, but not so obvious. Cheers. I sound very loud to myself, which is probably the reason why I talk really softly. Usually my friends, I usually talk quite loudly as well. I'm not too sure if anyone else can hear me. I mean, people already have trouble hearing me, listening to me, I guess. Yeah, I understand what you mean, yeah. You know who sounds like he's 50 years old. 50-year-old, 20-year-old man. But it's good, soft talk is comfy. Yeah, I know, right? I do prefer listening to people who are loud, especially from a family that's quite loud themselves. Which is kind of ironic because my people, they are quite more on the quieter side. You know? Which, speaking of which, I find very funny. So, there's another situation where I'm like, talking to someone of my race as well, and they talked to me in English, and the one after me, I thought, they're gonna speak English as well. She just speaks like, oh my god, do I look like a foreigner to you? Is it because of my long hair? Which is kind of funny because my hair has been recently getting more brown. My sister used to get like kind of complaints about her dyeing her hair, but it's actually naturally brown. Lol. Yes, lol. Yes, the model is kind of accurate to real life. For hair, at least. Face, no. Long hair, RL. IRL, yes. Just imagine Keanu Reeves behind the avatar. It's kidding. Not really. Probably half joking. I think long hair suits most people. Not a lot of people. There are some people who look weird with long hair. Some people look very weird with short hair. I think that I look okay with both. Because I'm not particularly super attractive or ugly. I would say I'm extremely average. I'm just biased. Okay, fine. Honestly, I prefer... I don't know, I just prefer guys with longer hair for characters. Like Sephiroth. Who else? I think the only one I don't really prefer is probably Virgil from Devil May Cry. I do have a pretty long hair too. How long is it? Like up to your shoulders or longer? Because mine is up to my shoulders. Like it's slightly below the shoulders. Because I recently just trimmed it as well. Oh, scheiße. It's already 1 hour. Well. Beyond Two Souls. Like around my... Oh, wow, that's long. You know what? Never mind. My sister had that long hair. Before she cut it. Like, recently as well, when I visited her. But I gotta say, I am a little bit worried if my sudden brown hair change is kind of my hair turning white. I'm not too sure. Because I do have a family gene where, you know, hair. Your hair goes white quite early. However, for my mom's case, it's like the opposite, which I find it really funny. I cut it whenever I want to try a new hair. Yeah, same, exactly. The only reason why you leave your hair long is to try out different styles. You know? You know, I find them. I feel like. Okay, so I feel like I'm a little bit of an anomaly when it comes to my family. Because if you don't know, if you have wet earwax, you're supposed to have like body odor. Like if you have dry earwax, it's like less body odor. It's very rare to have no body odor. So for my case, I have wet earwax while having very little body odor, which I find very weird. While my siblings are like, oh no, they have to put in like I wouldn't say deodorant, but more like things to keep the smell down. My face can't get red as well when I drink alcohol. I'm beginning to suspect that my mother's side is kind of a little bit of mixed. I wish you wouldn't have white hair earlier. You don't have white hair earlier ages, even though I don't mind people mind white hair on people. Honestly, I feel like if my hair turned white, I feel like it's fine, honestly. I don't really care. Damn, I get to know the real Tyto. Yeah, exactly. Tyto. Wow. At least not Tyto. Like Titus. Funnily enough, Tyto Babayka is not the real name of this character, it's actually something else. I think I've talked about it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Beyond Two Souls. Absolutely shit story. I feel like I was a little bit drunk, but I did enjoy the game. I think the story is terrible. I feel like you should play it in chronological order. The story writer has no idea what they want to do with this game. It's supernatural, and then suddenly it's going to war, and it's just a bunch of misery porn for Jodie. She's going through pain every single, scenario. The only time where she has like brevity, or not brevity, or what's it called? Like moment of peace is probably with what's his name? The scientist dude. See, I don't even remember any other character's name except for Jodie and I almost said Ethan. What's his name? The ghost. Aiden, right? I don't even remember not Norman Osborn. What's his name? Willem Dafoe's character's name. I don't remember anything. Like the character names, because they're so forgettable. And the twist of her being... This ghost being a brother is kind of a... I would say it's pretty foreshadowed, which is better than Heavy Rain. Except for Green Goblin, what's his name? Willem Dafoe going evil. I hated that. Like, there are foreshadows of... a lot of foreshadowing of the Willem Dafoe's character, like, talking to his dead wife and child. But him going crazy at the end, I feel like it's just very sudden. Like, there's no slow descent. It's just a big jump. Which, I guess it could be realistic, perhaps. It's like someone you didn't know has this issue. Like, it's like every serial killer is like, oh my god, he was such a good boy. And the next thing you know, he's committing some weird sexual crimes or something. Very specific, but you know, it'd be cool to have that type of power. Yeah, Beyond Two Souls power is very interesting. However, there's a video that I've watched that pointed out that the consistency of the powers is quite bad, which I quite agree on. I feel like there's no consistency. Like, really, sometimes Aiden can like do so much, but also suck really hard. I don't know how. So yeah, I would say mid. It's not worth your time if you love good stories. However, if you just want to have an enjoyable time, I would say, if you don't mind a bad story, of course. QTE is also terrible. I feel like every QTE choices you make are non-consequential as well. I feel like this, except for the last part, 6 out of 10. I would say 4 out of 10, just because she keeps suffering. You know what? Okay, I will bump that number up to maybe 7, because, you know, seeing Jodie suffer is funny to me. It's kind of like Heavy Rain as well, but I just love seeing Ethan fail as well. It's so funny. Ethan and Norman Jordan, they are the most fun characters to fail at. Lama, we are bad people. Come on, man. Yeah, we're fine. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a fictional person's suffering. It's not like they're real, you know? So they just come in real life and just poke you in the ass. Peak. Fine game. I've only played it for about maybe 10 hours. I think it's okay. Fun with friends, but with yourself, it's kind of miserable. I would say. Hello, Dawn is my old friend. I did play with my friends, however, we didn't really have enough time after that. Just one friend, obviously, not friends. I am planning to probably get more friends to play Peak. I would say we had a lot of fun. Me and my other friend, we call him Frost here. He's a Shiba Inu. But he's not a VTuber. I just have a design for him. It's funny because in my group of friends, there's like blue, which is me, and there's red, which is another friend of mine, and there's purple. So we just got to mush me and my red friend, and we got like the purple friend. Reaper and my members. What was that? I have never heard of that before. It's funny too. I've never played Repo. My friend wants to play Repo. He watches a Japanese YouTuber play Repo a lot. It's one of the voice actors for... Not one of the... It's the voice actor of Betelgeuse for ReZero. Betelgeuse Romani no Code of whatever his name is. Whatever. It's also Asnot from Bleach as well. Oh, also Kirito. Funnily enough. That guy's crazy. Having to voice act that many characters with different ranges, it's so good. He's so good. I kind of want to play mouthwashing. I don't know, I've watched some stories of it, but I do want to experience it myself. Kind of. Maybe. It's a big maybe. Monster Hunter Wilds. I would say it would have been the best game, Monster Hunter Wilds, for this year. However, the grind I despise so much. Gogmazio's is like the worst grind ever. Anything to do with random skills, any random jewels, what do you call it? Not decorations. One of the equipments is very not a good thing. I don't like that type of grind, especially if if you're working, you have to rely on cheats to kind of get good not artifacts. What's it called? Like good rolls, you know. Mouthwashing is an experience for sure. Yeah, I would love to try it. There's also To the Moon, which is quite good as well. I did do a lot of RPG Maker games from back then, by Uri. I don't remember how to pronounce it. Their name. The one who created Hangman, Crooked Man, Sandman, and what's it called? What's the last one called? Boogeyman, yes. I can't believe it. I'm literally named after one of them. Also, the difficulty fiasco. I feel like people are exaggerating the difficulty. It's in high rank. It's not master rank. Yet people are complaining it be too easy. I find that to be a load of bollocks. I feel like I'm becoming a little bit too British there. Bollocks. Next thing you know, I'm gonna say bloody bollocks. You absolute pillock. You knobhead. Which is funny. I find it fun because when I talk in my normal accent, I feel like I can't talk that well. However, when I talk in a slightly more... When I try to imitate a British person, I tend to talk more eloquently, I would say. It's kind of weird. Like, if I try to talk to myself with my regular accent, I feel like I can't really talk much. Next thing you're gonna say is twat. Twat. You got that thing wrong, you twat. You screwed it the wrong way, you twat. Absolute knobhead. Have you tried going to Birmingham? Just kidding. You know, in the Welsh town, there's a town called Gilgerov Quindrobble Fantasy Koch. We're gonna get to my Subaru. And if you're Welsh and you're allergic to vowels, the You're so funny. I agree to whatever you're saying. Yes. I agree to myself as well. Crime by Trouble Fantasy. That's an actual town name. Just look up for Clanvi. It's like LlafAIR if I'm not wrong. Clanvi. I forgot the N and the A. I disagree. Good. But why are you bullying me? I'm just kidding. The story in Monster Hunter Wilds is kind of funny, you know? wait, just remember that one Jeremy Clarkson quote. My genius. What did he say? I forgot. Shit. Sometimes my genius is... It frightens me. Was it that what he said? Sometimes my genius is... You know, me and Hammond, we used to go back and have sex with each other. A hamster. He just stands there, startled like a hamster, staring at a headlamp of a car. Tonight, on Top Gear. Richard shaves his balls. James May shits his pants. and I study the Bible. Undertale. Oh yeah, Master of the Wilds. The story is so. I would say it's like a. It's way better than One in the World, but it's still not that great. Minata, I feel like people give him a little bit too much hate. I feel like it's a child. He's acting like one, but people hate him way too much. I feel like maybe I'm just a really empathetic person. In this day and age, being empathetic is like it's like a curse. I would say. It's like you're too naive. You're empathetic. Which is kind of sad when you think about it. It shouldn't be a rare thing. It should be a normal thing. I can't believe you played the same games for over 10 years. Only Warframe, Monster Hunter, the Monster Hunter series, at least they keep it fresh. Oh wait, not really, actually. Warframe also changes, but you know, the Monster Hunter series is very, you know, really good from its track record, I would say. But I will give my opinion on the first few games. It's very bad. The first game is not really well balanced. However, you know, that's kind of obvious because it's an old game with not much exposure. However, I did love it, you know. That was when 2007, if I do recall correctly, 2003 maybe? First Monster Hunter game. I played that game back then. Back when you're using the analog stick of Monster Hunter, I mean the controller. Monster Hunter, wow. Hunter 1. 2004. My gosh. Listen, man, I promise I am not an old person disguising myself as a young man in his 20s rather than my 40s. If I am in my 40s, I'll probably be talking about how much I hate my wife, and really specifically talk about some, I don't know, alternative bands. Probably talk about Michael Jackson is so sad. The case of Michael Jackson. It's so, I don't know, I feel like people are just so evil, man. Poor Michael. Like, we used to laugh at Justin Bieber as well. Like, I'm not innocent as well. I used to hate Justin Bieber and make fun of him. But it's so sad that knowing his case, I genuinely feel bad for laughing or making fun of him. 24? Yeah, 2004. 24, Lamau. I was born in 2003. Yeah, it's so weird thinking about it. It's like the moment you're born in the 90s, it's like you're certified unk. While you're in your 2000s, if you're born in 2000s, it's like, oh my god, you're still so young. It's like one number in the front makes so much difference. Poor NJ. Exactly. Everything he has done so much. It's so sad that he has to try to one-up himself every time. That he has to rely on so many drugs. Which I find it really sad. Like, even if he didn't do all of those things, if he's still alive right now, I feel like it's going to be very controversial as well. So I'm not too sure if if he should, you know, live on, or maybe, I don't know. Certified unk, exactly. Later 2000s, certified cunt. Yes, exactly. Oh man, that's another British word I haven't said yet. Or Australian, or yeah, Australian. Australian. It's so funny that people pronounce like Melbourne, it's Melbourne, or I don't know. It just feels very funny the pronunciation of Australian. I mean, the spelling and the pronunciation. Some kind of makes sense, but it's kind of first time you read it, it's probably like, oh my god, Bondi, no, Bondi. I don't think MJ did anything what they accuse him of. Exactly. I feel like he's very, I wouldn't say naive. There's like a childlike quality to him. Like, it's very innocent. He trusts people a little bit too much. Meanwhile, for me, I feel like it's kind of funny. I do not trust people. Like, have a lot of phobias in trusting people. But I'm also very empathetic. Probably. He strikes me as the person who abused victim. Yeah, exactly. He has been abused. Like, literally, he's been abused his entire life. Even abused himself, It's a really sad situation when you think about it. Like, imagine, like, back when, he was young, he used to get, beaten by his dad, his siblings as well. It's so sad. I don't trust people usually either. Exactly. Like, there's a huge reason why I don't want to review where I'm from, because I feel like I'm a little bit afraid there's that one viewer who's obsessed with me, who's probably going to stalk me over there. It's going to probably come to my country and just like, hi, my name is Jeremy Clarkson. Only like really close friends, yeah. But yeah, usually you don't really trust like people online as well, like me included. What? Yes, what? I don't know, I'm just saying. I'm just giving an example, okay? You have had an obsessed viewer who stalk you? Here's the thing, there's one girl who... I'm not too sure if it's the same one. But she used to ask for my number. Like, she kept asking for it. But did I tell you the story? I'm not too sure. I've told a few viewers of mine that story. Like, she wouldn't stop calling. So I'm a little bit afraid that she might find out that, I'm me, I don't know the story. So this story is about a girl in my high school where she's changing schools and she is like trying to get my number. I kept refusing, however she kept persisting. So I gave her a fake number, which I feel very bad, but what can you do if you want to reject someone? It's so weird to think that it's so weird to have your water bottle go missing as well after she's gone. Yeah, I know. I'm usually like the type of guy who says like, oh my god. Because I have a sister who has faced a lot of like, guy, issues with guys, you see, like creepy men. So I'm usually more on the lady side sometimes. But after that situation, facing that, I feel like everybody's just very shitty. What a weirdo. Yeah, exactly. And then Snapchat, back when I was using Snapchat in college, there's this one girl who kept making so many accounts just to add me. I'm not too sure if it's the same girl, because I don't remember her name. It's so funny. There's also one case where someone kept calling me as well. I thought it was a dude. Turns out it was like a girl. Like, what? I thought it was a dude who's like, thought I was a girl or something. I was so worried. That's why I'm absolutely very paranoid in my location, which is why I also use a VPN. I've used to visit a friend, and whenever I slept in a house, like she lived with a roommate, I had something close to me. Ew, God. Is the room? Oh my gosh. Disgusting. Blech. You have right to be paranoid. Exactly. Which is kind of weird, because if I'm truly paranoid, I wouldn't be streaming. However, I do really enjoy, like, doing this. Also, content creation. I do really love doing all of these stuff. Like, drawing as well. I really enjoy it. Undertale. Undertale is pretty good. I would say head up for his time. I would say Toby Fox is incredibly talented in story writing and music. However, the gameplay is also very creative. The only thing I find negative is the humor in Undertale is kind of dated. Yeah, I think the humor is the only one that didn't really age well. Especially for Papyrus and Sans, or any other characters. I feel like characters like Spamton are kind of obnoxious. I don't really enjoy them. Like, I don't understand the thought of process of stealing used clothes. If you want to sniff it, you know, sometimes people get really high on sniffing someone else's clothes. You know, there's that one meme of like Superman. It's like, it's not even Superman, it's like Ultraman. It's like smelling kryptonite. It's like saying, my favorite. Yeah, something like that. But stealing, though, is kind of weird. You can just, I don't know. I feel like No, I'm not gonna say it. Jesus Christ, it's creepy. So that's really like the story, but not the gameplay in games. Yeah, same. But Undertale, I find this gameplay pretty dope as well. However, the humor is sometimes, you know. I'm not too sure if you can see me roll my eyes. I'm not too sure. Speaking of which, I forgot to turn on my tiger. Yeah. I feel like Serious Sam is also the same case. Gameplay is very standard. I would say there's nothing special about it. However, the humor, if you really love the humor from the 2000s era, like the back when McDonald's or the KFC aesthetic were still very colorful instead of modern, I would possibly would love to recommend you Serious Sam 2. I don't know about the eyes, but I heard you're groaning. You can't see the eyes? Maybe I need to zoom in, but meh. Alright, that's it for this list of games. So here are my milestones. Apparently, it's not really that eventful. My personal hypers moment, May 30th, Model 3.0. This one. Absolutely it took me almost a year to do it, to make it, because I was slacking a lot. Also because I was like occupied with some other things. I don't know. You have two previous models. Two that are very simple. The first model was an owl, a griffin. Not Griffith, but Griffin, like the actual chibi griffin. Second was a chibi version of my casual outfit. Because I find that this outfit is very complicated to translate to chibi and, rig it. So after I got my experience, I decided, you know what? Let's make a 3.0 model, which is this one, where I try to put all of my capabilities into one. I did learn quite a lot, so I will eventually possibly make maybe 4.0. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like this model is going to be here for a long time. I do have a new outfit plan, however, I gotta draw it, I gotta rig it. It's hard when you want to do something else as well. So, the most unintentionally funny stream that I've ever done for me, Heavy Rain. It's my favorite episode, one of my favorite streams that I've done. Because it's funny. You look pretty. I know, thank you. I try to lean more on the androgynous side, I would say. Because me in real life is kind of like that as well, I don't know. Until you hear me talk, of course. One of my friends called me like, oh my god, the most beautiful man. It's so funny. It's only but it's only when it's a good angle of mine. Oh, yeah, it's so funny. Of course, she's not serious, but Surprising numbers. 31st of October, Arknight's Exusia gacha video. I never thought it would hit more than 50. I always thought it's probably going to be like 30 views. But 100, almost 200 is like kind of surprising. I think my most viewed video is actually a stream of mine, which is a Dinosaur Eyewitness, if I'm not wrong. What's it called? Dinosaur Hunter, right. I wasn't expecting it to be that many views. I feel like I was so tired and not really entertaining that stream. But people seem to watch it, I don't know why. I feel like it's very boring in my opinion. It's probably for nostalgia perhaps. Another one that's doing quite well is Library of Ruina, the non-tutorial version video, where I just try to draw stuff. I just draw like Mesperite. I think I got like 1 dislike on that video, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot to put like the titles. It's gonna be like spoilers and stuff, and it's not a tutorial. So I feel like maybe that person got spoiled, which I feel very bad for. Like, I don't blame that person for hitting the dislike button. I was like, oh no, I did something wrong. I should try to rectify it. And, of course, my new GPU, my AMD RX 9060 XT. Is that alright? I forgot. It's literally better than the 5060, if I'm not... Oh, excuse me. 5060, if I recall correctly. I am not too fond of NVIDIA now, due to everything being very AI heavy. I feel like AI is such it's just very bad now, let's just say. I don't have any words to describe how I feel about AI in this generation. You can't stop it, but there's many ways you should utilize it to, benefit people rather than make parodies or make stupid things, you know. Like, its impact on the environment is very, how would you say, destructive. Especially the water, if I do recall correctly, it's like drinking water as well. Like, you're stealing billions of liters of waters to power your data centers and, you know, basically generating big chungus memes out of nowhere. I don't know. Like, oh my god, haha, your art is improved by my AI. Well, all I say is, if the data centers ever blow up and generative AI suddenly stops, I don't know, I'll probably be laughing. I highly doubt that will happen. I feel like people will get more efficient. I feel like you just can't stop technology. That's all how I feel, I guess. I don't like it, but I won't deny it's coming. And it's improving, you know. I don't really like to use the dislike option, but I was about to use... you see on your dog's slopping ASMR comment. Hey man, just use it, man. I'm alright with that. Yeah, there's nothing useful I can think of. People can't. Coding, I would say that is one of the, I feel like there's so many stuff on Stack Overflow that you can probably reference. I generally do not like to rely on AI for writing, coding, or drawing. I don't know, I just don't like to rely on it. One of my co-workers, she really relies on ChatGPT for answers. Like, I do everything without using ChatGPT. Almost everything. It's easier, of course, but yeah, exactly. Here's the thing, the moment you use AI to think for you, it's like the calculator, you will stop using your brain to calculate. And you will keep using the calculator. So people are just getting dumber by just asking, oh, Grok, is this true? Why can't you just Google it? Google is also ruining people's, like, social, you know. Last time, back in the old days, you used to ask your parents or your grandparents about, you know, how do I let my baby sleep? Like, which side do they have to sleep on, you know? Like, for example, that, you know. Like, do you face forward or do you, like, sleep on your belly, you know? It's like, oh, you sleep on your belly because, you know, if they vomit, they won't suck on it and be like, regurgitate it, I don't know. Choke on it. It sounds bad. I can't stand people who use ChatGPT, not gonna lie. Honestly, I don't really mind as long as they're not using it to, decide on things or come up with ideas. However, there's only a few times where I used it for like for my creative process where I'm like, generate me a name that I could use because I was so stuck on one of my projects that I had to name. I mean, work project, not like school projects. I'm lucky I'm in the age where ChatGPT wasn't so prevalent when I was studying in college. Because a lot of my plagiarism score is almost always 0, either that or below 10, which I am really quite proud of. Some people use it for not having to think for themselves. Exactly. Which is the reason why I tell my coworker not to rely on it too much. But she doesn't listen, because she... Okay, it's kind of sad, but kind of... I mean, I always tease her, but I would call her a girl failure sometimes. I mean, not sometimes, but I would call her girl failure for now. It's so weird to think that one of my co-workers is also the same age as her, which is 2 years younger than me. It's a lot more well thought. Like, what was it? Like, she at least knows how to logic things, you know? What the hell? What do you mean? What? So mean? No, here's the thing. The moment you work with her, you'll understand. Like, I don't get scolded by my boss much. While she is almost like, oh my god, she's she's screwing up a lot of stuff sometimes. And my boss is so nice. Just kept her for, you know, even though she screws up a lot. Which I find really charming. I feel like my boss is a little bit too nice as well. Like, we could have hired an intern, you know, to do all the HR stuff. Can't be the same space as stupid people without insulting them low-key. Yeah, I'm always like, come on, man. What the hell? Why would you do that? I feel like I don't track any girls because I feel like I'm more. I shouldn't say that. I just feel like I give up more of a brother quality to the friendship. I feel like you probably know that based on our first interaction. Either younger or older brother. I don't know. Depends how you see it. Unquality. Which is funny, she did call me uncle. Oh no. I was like, why would you call me an uncle? No. I think the jokes I make, the stuff I talk about are very... I don't know, maybe I'm just an old soul, you know? I was joking. No. I mean, I already am an uncle, you know, uncle, for real, like, for real. It's because of your dad puns. Yeah, most likely. I think the only person who really laughs at my jokes are my is my boss. Because he's also a dad, so I'm like, okay, good. At least someone gets my humor. God. Wait, meme review. You know, my sister asked me, like, oh, you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone my age, right? You know, she's 9 years older than me. I'm like, in my head, I was like, you know, if Scarlett Johansson wanted to be my girlfriend, I would definitely go after her. She's like 40 or something. I feel like I mentioned Scarlett Johansson a little bit way too much. It depends on the person. Exactly, right? Listen, if it's a hot aunt, if it's a hot single mom, here's the thing. People open a kindergarten. Some people open a kindergarten to flirt, I don't know, to be a pedo. I open one to go and flirt with the mom. You know, they're like 30 something. I'm like, oh, that's prime age. You say, okay, all the teachers handle their kids. I'm gonna be the principal who talks to their parents. I'm not gonna say anything. Come on. Oh, meme review, right. Meme review. I feel like there's nothing This is like a really short one. It's so bad. This year's memes are so bad. Chicken jockey, aura farming, 67. Okay, the only one that's good is Doix. I don't even know how to pronounce it. That kind of. That's how I think it's pronounced. Doix. Uma Musume. That's just it. Chicken jockey is so annoying. I hated it. 6-7 is so annoying as well. Usually whenever I wanted to say something with 6 and 7 in stream, I usually say 7 or 6 instead. Aura farming, I feel like that's got kind of boring really quick. The Doix meme is, I would say, one of the best memes, I would say. You know, one of my favorite memes is the Mr. Fantastic one with Black Bolt. Black Bolt here can stop you or something, I forgot. Black Bolt, what was it? Can destroy you with a single word. And then one is like, what mouth? Which I'm gonna say, Marvel movies are so annoying, in my opinion, right now. Those have been a meme for longer, people just discovering for... Yeah, exactly, the surprise, motherfucker. Yeah, that meme is so old. Surprise movie. Yeah, exactly, I know. Is this the recent one where it's like being very suspicious of the Dexter? I think that's his name. Like his real name, I don't know. Yeah. Uma Musume memes. I think the Hachimi one's pretty cute. I did quite like that one. Oh, wait. I do have a few pinned messages on my group chat with my friends that I find very funny. $20.25 means flop. It's so bad. So this is me describing Devil May Cry playstyles. And I'm comparing them to masturbating. So, my first review of Devil May Cry playstyle was Virgil, which is the easiest, most rewarding. It's like a quick and easy. Nero is just vanilla, but you spit to lubricate sometimes. Dante is like using your hands, then finding a tenga, then getting a woman to blowjob you while finding something to hit yourself in the balls. V just CBT. Sorry. Scratching my nose. Don't forget nipple clips on Dante. One of my friends. What the frick? Exactly. It's so stupid. That was me. Nobody. My friend seeing Gemma with an old man in Monster of the Wilds. It's a small little old man NTR. Never mind. Accurate. Yeah. This is one moment, because whenever we play Monster Hunter, we would say something like, we would just say La Labarina. We don't know if like La Labarina. Or no, something like La Labarina. So me and my friend, we don't usually say it when we're not fighting that monster, but we, out of nowhere, after a long silence, we just said like La Labarina, out of nowhere. Together at the same time. It's so funny. one of my messages is I circumcised Chatacabra with TCS while he's mid-air. If you don't know, it's like a big slash. So when he was jumping mid-air, I cut his dick, basically. Trying to save brain cell. Exactly. It's so crazy. My friend took longer to get to the monster to kill it. If you don't know, there's one monster, what was it? They call it frenzied monsters in Monster Hunter. And they have really low HP. So my friend went to change his equipment. And I was fighting it. And the moment he got there, the monster dies. It's so funny. This is one time we were playing Power as well. My friend's like, do you want me to spawn a Sea Breeze or Sea Breeze? So funny. My friend destroying the entire wooden house just because he put the bed in front of the door. Sometimes by genius, it's almost frightening. One of my pinned messages is time for me to say no sex for me until I'm past 30. Lick my balls. I don't know. Something I would do. Oh no. That's funny. That's so funny, man. Oh. My chat is crazy. We say the dumbest shit ever. I think my favorite one is my Dante's analogy comparison. Dante's like using your hands to masturbate, then finding a Tenga once you're bored, and then swapping over to a woman to give you a finding yourself to eat yourself in the balls. Oh, it's so accurate. I don't know why. I've been laughing myself so hard for that one. I was typing it out and I was like laughing as well. It's so funny. Oh my god, this one is even funnier. GPUs are like boobs. What do I say? What did I say? Nice to look at, makes performance better, and the older it gets, the saggier it gets. Oh, here's the thing, ChatGPT can never write these types of jokes, alright? I am so witty. I'm just kidding. And one of my friends pinned my freaking message. Maybe I'll marry a white chick in the future. Labao. It's funny. I'm sure no one else can type these jokes either. It's a new sentence ever made and I formed. Oh my god. That's so funny. Yo, if I type that on Twitter, if someone famous did that, it would be such a banger. However, if I do it, I'm getting banned on Twitter. It's sad. Alright, so what do I have for future? I am planning to do more videos, however, I'm not too sure when I'm going to release them. I am really wanting to... do you say this? I'm writing my own story. I keep mentioning it, but I do want to mention that I'm like, male breastfeeding tweet. I have no idea what that is. Can you enlighten me by copying the text, because you can't post links, or maybe the username. I don't know. I just want to say, my story that I'm writing is kind of inspired by Evangelion. Kind of, not really, but it's also inspired by one of the games. What's it called? Invasion, something like that, where it's like the evolving alien or something. You don't know the tweet? No, I don't know. Maybe I forgot about it. Maybe I just removed it from my brain. The one I really remember really well, and sometimes it pops up in my head, is like cocky wants boing boing. I love that one. If you notice, I've never watched any anime or episodes or something like that. I feel like, I don't know, I don't really have the time for that. I'm on the Sigma grind. I'm just kidding. You know how long it took me? Like 4 hours to draw like my thumbnail. My gosh, 4 to 5 hours. I've been just trying to find out the pose for almost an hour, and then the lighting, I'm not too sure what I wanted to. So the previous pose that I did was really, so it was something like the pose that Sukuna does in Jujutsu Kaisen, like one of the like when he does like the hand and his arm, the other arm is like below his elbow. That one, I'm like kind of doing that. Then I realized, oh my god, it looks like the one. It looks like Sukuna doing that. His dismantle move. So I decided to change it like that to what I have right now. There's a tweet that got deleted, but it's very famous from a guy named Kira or something. Oh, Kira, right? Basically, he talks about if men had the shit. I know that one. I know that one. Okay, I remember that one now. Disgusting. The future? Darkness. I don't remember the exact tweet, but you can find it easily in the description. Yeah, I remember now. So that's it for my 2024's review. 2025, sorry, 2024. Wow, I'm still in 2024. So I'm gonna... It's 2 hours apparently, which I find very surprising that I've talked this long. So yeah, I'm gonna head out right now. Thank you for joining. I didn't expect you to join, honestly. I feel like it's a little bit too... How do you say it? It's like a... What's the word I'm looking for? Spontaneous, right? So yeah. Sorry that I'm gonna leave right now, because I do have things to do. Just kidding, I gotta sleep. It's called sleeping, alright? Alright, take care. Have a good one. Yeah, I'm busy all day tomorrow, so I want to be free today. Oh, okay. That's cool. Wow. What a coincidence. Good night. Good to Naito. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'll be back on Friday and Saturday. Bye. Take care.